Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to beat Sprong in Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This boss I would actually recommend waiting until Act 3, but if you're in the end of Act 2, if you do this perfectly, you can take him down. Now, I'd recommend going with a crew of Lune, Maelle, and Verso here. Now, the best thing to do with Lune is to use the weapon that's going to give her a stain on her free aim attack, and you want to try and break its posture using this. We were able to get that off later in the video. Now, I'd recommend if you have the Mendeleum weapon for Maelle, that's going to start her in Virtuoso stance. Otherwise, it's all about getting her into that, applying Mark, and then using two different attacks here. So it's going to pull out these different attacks. This one's a bit delayed. He'll sometimes do 1 to 3 attacks, but the trick for these is to watch the hands. So whenever you see him winding up, if it's the beam attack, there's going to be a sound effect, but for the hands, you just got to watch how he's swinging them. He doesn't balk with it. He just goes straight into the attack. Now for Verso, I'd recommend having the Dualiso weapon here and then doing this little trick, the weapon to do your free aim shots, trying to set it up, and then you can go again with your second turn to do an attack. Now, sometimes what's best with this weapon is to actually mark the target, and once it's marked, then you can use a Tinct to give Maelle more action points. So with Maelle, I'm trying to get her to apply the mark here because we're in our Virtuoso stance, and I screwed it up. So use PRC there. It's only 2 action points. This is going to be a good skill if you end up using up its marks, but the other attack is the Momentum Strike. This attack here, listen for the beam, and you'll be able to dodge it there. It goes phew whenever it does the attack, and then he does a final beam there that kind of comes out as a sneaky one. So just wait for that, and you'll be able to hit him with it. Now, again, it's all about getting Maelle into her Virtuoso stance, so make sure there's always a burn apply. That's what I have Lune here for, so making sure that she's also applying that if it needs to be. If you don't have enough points, it's good to do the Thermal Transfer here to give yourself more action points. So then your next turn that you're able to maybe do a Mayhem attack or something else. Now, I'd recommend saving your Gradient charges for Maelle, because that can put her immediately into Virtuoso stance, which you'll see we're able to burst him down near the end. Unfortunately, I got hit with the exhaust here, so it ended up making so that Verso wasn't getting his action points back, but nice to have a low action point one. I also like having Strike Storm on Verso. That's one of the most damaging. Now, he pulls out this 5-hit combo here pretty frequently. It's going to be decently easy to dodge, as I mentioned. Watch his hands when they're coming down towards you. That's going to be the cue. Now that she's in Virtuoso stance, we're going to try and apply Marked here, and after a second or third shot, I was able to apply it there. So then we're going to follow with the Momentum Strike, and you're going to see it does a ton of damage. So almost like 500,000 there. You want to get that off as much as possible. So I'm using a bit of a weaker weapon on Maelle. I also will include a little clip at the end where I use a much more powerful weapon and almost hit 1 million on it. So yeah, here is why I like using Mayhem on Lune there, because you see we broke its posture. Now we're in defensive stance, so this is where it's good to pull out the Gradient attack, so we can get Maelle back into her Virtuoso stance. So now she's back in and she gets that free action, and we want to try and apply that mark again. So Momentum Strike does extra damage if the target is marked. We have 7 action points, and it takes 4 to cast that. So we got lucky there with the second shot, and then following up with this, doing a ton of damage once again. And then it's pretty much taken out at this point. We interrupted its final phase and Burn got him. So that's how to easily beat Sprong in Clair Obscur Expedition 33. If this video is useful, hit the subscribe button below.